Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. What? Am I still on a demo? I've still got an evaluation for which I've had for about a week and a half, which I'm on at the moment. It's up to, excuse me, $1,500. I already had one, so I thought I might as well use it. So, yeah, $1,507 it's on at the moment. So I'll see that one out and just let it play and see what happens. But if I do pass it, I'll see how I get on this next week or two. But I can always I tend to pay the one-off fee now, so I can always hold it and not trade it. So I've got that option anyway. But I'm just going to see how I get on the next couple of weeks. But as I say, if I do see some max setups, I will take them as long as they're obvious ones. You know, break, higher low, perfect trade, plenty of room to the tops. Then I'll take it. But the trouble is, you don't get a massive amount of those, so you got to rely on, you know, picking tops and bottoms of ranges and triple tests, which I'm not particularly good at. So if I take those out of the equation and just focus on, you know, really nice second entries, if they come along, I'll take them. But apart from that, I'm obviously looking at a Penguin style. It suits me a little bit better. You've got a little bit more time to think. So how you doing, what? Growl Daddy, good morning. Harminder Singh, how are you? Indy, how you doing? JW, how you doing, bud? That new indicator, it's called, I think it's Algotech. It does a bunch of other stuff, but I'm just concentrating on this for the first week. But what it does is it plots the higher the day, so you always know. Obviously, that'll stretch out as the price action sort of continues. It shows you your current open and it shows you your current low of the day, so you always know where your highs and lows of the day are. And all I've done is yesterday's high, yesterday's low. I've just extended a line going right up and down, which gives me yesterday's highs and lows as well. It also gives information up here. There's my current high and low, and this, if I hover over a bar, it gives me information about a bar. Tells me that's 1.75 points. Excuse me. Also tells me I'm on the ES. It gives me my price here, and there's my countdown. I have a countdown here anyway, but there's my countdown. And it's got a bunch of other stuff as well. If I click the wheel, I can click that on and off, and I can tell what a bar is. Tells me down the bottom what date it is, what time the bar printed, and so on. And there are some other stuff as well. You can right click and it gives you information. You can sort of stretch it from top to bottom. It gives you information, how many bars, start and close time and all that. But I'm leaving that at the moment. I'm just focusing on this other stuff. So I'm just playing around with it first for the first week or so. And then if I think it's useful, then I can contact the guy and get a like a discount or something. So I'm going to play around with it first. Like I always say, I get contacted all the time for various, but I'd say once a week, probably, maybe not once every couple of weeks, for various different bits of software. You know, they're offering me a few $100s a month or something to promote this. But if it's not something we're going to use, I'm not going to bore people with it. There was something I got a week and a half ago. Some indicator for what was it? I can't remember what it was. It was some indicator for crypto, but we don't use crypto, so I just thought, yeah, there's no point. And there was now and again I get certain different indicators. If I think it's something I'm going to use, I'll try it myself first. But I'm not stuffing stuff down your guys' throats for stuff you don't need. So I'm going to play around with it first and see how I get on with it. And if I think it's useful. If you stick with Penguin, you will cease to register max setups after a couple of weeks. If you stick with Penguin, you will cease to register. Yeah, I think that's probably possible. All I'm doing is I had a message from a guy a few days ago saying, why don't you follow yourself? In other words, why don't I take what setups I feel that are right? Do you know what I mean? It was an interesting comment, actually. I'd never quite had it put like that. You know, sometimes I'll go on a trade and, you know, a lot of the times if we see a certain pattern, we see it play out and you know what's going to go on, but we don't trade because there's no setup. So I think what I like about the Penguin, I do rabbit on about this, is the time you have to plan a little bit more. But I think it suits my personality. You guys know what I'm like. I sit here and I don't shut up for 3 hours. So I'm quite a hyper person. And obviously Mac setups appear really quickly, and sometimes I jump in before I've really had time to decide, should I really be doing it? I tend to get a bit jumpy. But so do you, Harmadir, do you follow Penguin as well, do you? I'm still sort of getting to grips with him. As you know, I have been watching him and talking about him for maybe, 6 months. But I do like the fact that if we sort of have a break and then we have a new low and then we make 2 more attempts, a lot of times with Max, we may pick that as a bottom, but I like the way he lets it run through the EMA first to indicate it's not going to just trigger and then come down and stop out. So it's got, I'm still getting the feel for it. And these things don't come overnight. But I have another trader buddy, Martin, and he said it took him about 3 months to convert over to Max. But obviously he found it a lot easier because obviously he learned to trade from Mac, and it's sort of very similar in a way, but just based on a slightly bigger picture. But there you go. But no, reference this. I'll give it a try for a week or two and have a play around with it and see if I think it's really beneficial. And if it is, I'll speak to the guy and get a discount or something, and I'll see. But anything like this that I think it's useful, straight away, I love the fact that it tells me exactly where my low is. So if I'm coming up here, and the price action's further back there that I can't see, I like the fact that it gives me these bits of information. It does a bunch of other stuff as well, but I'm just trying to pick a little bit at a time. Yeah, so it's personal experience. Yeah, I hope so, mate. All I'm doing is I've learnt some skills from Mac, and if I see a setup there's different categories of setup with Mac. Hey, Rodin Hayden, there's different categories. There's the basic sort of 2. Where are we now? Market opens in a minute and a half. There's the basic sort of, which is more your sort of bread and butter trade. So we're in a trade and we do something on I'm not the best drawer in the world, but something on the lines of that, and then off we go. That's the type of trade that if we're in a channel and I see a really nice second entry, nice big bullish bar above the EMA, classic trade, your bread and butter trade. If I see one of those, I'll take it for sure. But different other categories of his trades are obviously picking tops in ranges. I'm not particularly good at them anyway, in all fairness, so I'll just leave those alone. And triple tests as well, I don't have a massive success with it. It's not my strong point, so I'll leave those. So I'm just going to take what skills I've learnt that I think I could still make a couple of quid out of, and it'd be stupid not to, really. But yeah, you're probably right, actually. You're probably right. But I do like the Penguin guy. I'm impressed with his chart reading skills and his technical skills, which is what sort of put him onto my radar. But I think the guy's, I think he's very clever, which is why I'm following him. And I like the fact that you get into a trade and you leave it a bit longer. And during that trade, you have plenty of opportunities to get out of it if you want. Okay, market's open. So 1, 2, 3, that's a triple test. So whether we're going to, I don't know, push back up to them, I don't know. Whether that's a channel, I think it is. In fact, maybe more like that. Let me have a look. Yeah, that's better. So we're going sideways here, so I'm guessing we're going sideways. It's probably going to work sideways to here, and then if we are in a channel, then obviously have another push down. But market is officially open. So who haven't I said hello to? Personal experience. Yeah, Speedy, how you doing, my friend? Brick, how you doing, bud? NC, how are you? Who haven't I said hello to? Chris, how you doing, bud? Rodian, I've said hello to you. So yeah, I keep trying to focus on Penguin, but times like this, there's nothing for Penguin really. But obviously, there may be something from Mac. But usually we'll see where this channel is, because then it usually pushes down. So I was expecting that to keep coming to the side if it was going to drop. Bit on the fence for that one. It would be nice to get a trending day. So touch. Benji, how you doing, bud? Benji, I talked to a little bit on the. I'm assuming you're the same Benji. You must be. You've got a dog on. You've got another dog. You're Benji on the Discord, aren't you? I think you are. Same name, just different dog. I think so. Okay, so so I think this is a channel. It seems to be. It looks okay. Works quite nice there. Touch works along there. I mean, even if that was back here and that was out there, I think it's still a break. Depends what you. I'm a bit on the fence there as where to draw that to. Anyway, I think it's still a break, whatever happens. Different. Yeah, it's just I'm looking at the little, your little, what's it called? That what is it? Your little not icon. What is it? Your little round thing? I don't know. My mind's gone blank. Let me just have a look. Yeah, so that could be like that. I'm a bit unclear on that. Touch. There could be a second entry short there. Not sure about that. I might take that.
Order submitted.
No, maybe not. Now, what order I will say canceled. Is because usually the risk is sort of double. What I've done, I haven't actually. I can say what I've done is gone down from 2 contracts to 1 contract, because obviously the risk is double. So I don't want to be risking for $500, $600 on a trade. There is a second entry short there, but the bar's a bit naff. I'll tell you what I haven't done. I've got to get in the habit of doing this. More precise, you will have more confidence between Max and Penguin setups chart reading. Yeah, I'm trying to watch. I hate it when it does that. I'm trying to watch as much as I can in the evenings of the Penguin. Because obviously it is a bit different. But so I'm just trying to work out what's going on here. See, there is a possibility that that's there. Yeah, I kind of like that. Trouble is, it's quite wide. I think that's okay. That's probably bottoming, I think. But all I will say. No news again today. We have is it FOMC tomorrow, is it? I think it is, isn't it? I had a feeling it was today. Okay, a little bit of sideways there. So I'm a bit unsure about that, but I think, yeah, that's generally how we'll draw that there. With a break. Sorry. That one. I like the way it fits there. Touching more or less some of the places there, going sideways. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of going short here anyway. So we got a leg down, made 2 attempts to go higher. Trouble is, if you take that whole bar, there's not enough room to get out to the lows anyway, so Yeah, if I'm not sure what's going on, I'm just going to sit and wait. So you could call that a triple test. 1, 2, 3. 3 attempts to go higher. Harminder, how long have you been trading with the penguin guy? Just out of curiosity. So we've come down here. We've had 1, 2 legs higher. That almost looks like 2 legs. There's 1 leg, 2 leg. Leg, leg. See, if you had this channel drawn differently, there may have been a break here. So we've got a leg down there. We've had a break. We've come down and we've made 2 more attempts to go higher. Trouble is, if you're going to short there, and you're waiting for it to close below the EMA here, you're going to have very little space for a 1-to-1 before this bottom. So I don't think there's anything there. Penguin wise, in fact, I had did I get? I think I had 1.5 points more than the penguin guy yesterday, so I was quite impressed with that. Whether the trade was valid or not, who knows? That's a different story. Leg. So yeah, it depends how you've drawn this. I kind of like that, but I suppose you could have it more like that. In which case you've had a break, made 1, 2 attempts to go higher. So, I mean, it's making multiple attempts to go higher. Now, it can either do 1 or 2 things, really. It can go higher, or it can break down below. I suppose it could go sideways for a bit longer, but the trouble is, at the moment, we're struggling to get past there, so if I take a short, it's got to be out before there. And for me, at the moment, this is picking tops. And as I've said before, in all honesty, I think my chart reading's okay. It's one of my strongest points, but picking tops, in all fairness, I'm bloody useless at. And I have a very good success rate at them, so I tend to leave them alone now. Now and again, I'll have a moment of madness and take one, but every time I do, I just... I don't have a lot of success. So triangle on, triangle. There's a failure there. Trouble is, I can't see where there's a lot of people going short there. So, morning, Ryan. How are you? So, this may be a bit of a bottoming pattern. It may push up. See, I've not really established what kind of day we're at yet. As far as I can see at the moment, we've had this push down a bit sideways. So, I tend to always assume we're ranging. Good to hear you back. Thank you, mate. I always assume we're ranging until I see something else. So leg. So we got this channel down. Let me try and get in the head. I try and have this little voice in my head of what the penguin guy's saying. Actually, I kind of like that. So we've had a break, and we've had 2 more attempts to push higher. Now, even if that pushed down strong now and closed below the EMA, there's still not enough to get out 1-to-1. So this is just a no-go area, I think, really. It's probably moving within about 4 points, if that. So there's no real... Yeah, it's just 3.5, actually less than 4. So yeah, and not only that, even if you were going to say there's a channel down, we had a break. We didn't have a new low, but we made 1, 2 attempts to go higher. But what I can see here is we're making higher highs, high lows, sorry. So Whether that'll go off like that or not, but I don't think there's anything to go short here, really. If you look, yeah. Yeah, this is starting to move up, I think. We've had a break. It looks like it's bottoming anyway. It's struggling to go through. And after this big push down anyway, when it starts going like that, you're not really going to be interested in shorts, I don't think, after a good push down. We've come down a fair point from this. We've come down, what, 22 points. So, in fact, there is so look, yeah, there's a new low after that one. There is a failure there. Yeah, there is a failure there. Trouble is, depending on how you're drawn that, I don't think we've made a new low yet. Now, if we're ranging, a lot of the times it won't anyway, so you could take that on a limit order, but in all fairness, it wouldn't surprise me if that pushed back into this channel here, range here, so. You know what,
Order
I'm going to take that as a failure. Just for a couple of points. Because I like the bar, and it looks like it's bottoming here. I might have just made a big mistake, but there we go. I kind of like that. There's a new low after this. After that big push down there, yeah, it's going to stop me out now. Okay, let's give that one extra tick. Not that it's going to make a difference, but... Oh well. I've just fallen into the trap. I should have left it alone. My mistake. My bad. That's going to take me out, almost definitely, that is. Yeah, that's
Order filled.
Well. How stupid. Silly boy, I should have just left it. There's me thinking along the lines of Mac. It looks like it's bottoming, trying to go low on strong. Failure. Closed. Out of here. I should have just left that. Silly boy. Silly boy. Focus on one thing. Silly boy. Oh, dear me. In fact, let me have a look. On 2 attempts to go high, push the EMA. It's probably better to go short there, I think, than anything. Push through the EMA. Silly that was. I'm thinking along the lines of Max there, and it trapped me. Do you know what?
Order submitted.
I think I'm better off going short there. Oh, please, no. Come on. Okay, so we've had a break. Try to go once, try to go twice, push through the EMA. Flipping hell, what an idiot. Well, it had to happen, didn't it?
Stop filled.
Okay, I'm reading this wrong, aren't I? Well, I was having such a good day. Okay, let me think about this. We had a channel down, we had a break. We made 2 attempts to go lower, push through the EMA. No, I should have just left that. That was just stupidity. I'm not thinking what I'm doing here. I'm getting sort of mixed up between... don't let it get you down. Don't let it get you... No, I'm all right, actually, mate, to be fair. I'm getting a bit mixed up with Max and what's it's here, aren't I? So 1 minute I was looking for a failure, then I thought we've had a break, made 2 further attempts, pushed through the EMA. I thought after that turn there, pushed through the EMA, and I took a trade about here, and it triggered me and stopped me out. So I'm obviously not thinking along the right lines. Yeah, Max Heritage ingrained. Yeah, that's the trouble really when you're flicking from one to another. So, okay, let's think about it. We've got a channel, we had a break. We haven't made a new yet. We had a leg up. I need to think about what I'm doing here. Okay, I was doing so well. So that's one I took, and that one as well. Yeah, I'm not thinking about what I'm doing here. Also, there's a channel out there. We've had a break and a new high. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here, so I should have stayed out of this really. So we've had this channel down, we've had a break. We've made an attempt. See, whether you call this a new low or not, I don't know. It depends if you've got that channel drawn, really. Pushed up, made one attempt to go lower, a second attempt to go lower, and now we're going to push up. 1, 2. Pushed up, made 1, 2 attempts to go lower. Yeah, I'm a bit unsure what's going on here. I should probably just stay out. I mean, 1, 2 attempts to go lower, isn't it? But that's pushed up after that and made a new high. EMA's flat. No, I just need to just stay out of this. Hard to read, yeah, it is hard to read. Well, it's hard to read, really. I should know better just to stay out of it. Day before FOMC, usually choppy mess, yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what. I wish I knew his name. Penguin guy, just keep calling the penguin guy. What did I miss? Probably best you don't know, mate, actually. I took that as a failure because it closed above this. This looked like it was bottoming, and that was a max trade, so I probably should have left that, in all fairness. And then I thought we've had a break. We've made 1, 2 attempts to go higher, push through the EMA. I took a short there, and it triggered me and stopped me out. So I took... I failed on a max trade and a penguins trade. In all fairness, it's choppy as hell. I should have just left this. So, lesson learned. Yeah, EMA's perfectly flat. Penguin guy, panda guy, gorilla guy, yeah. Yeah, when it's going like this, really, I don't think it matters what system you use. You're probably likely going to get chopped up. Let me have a look. So we pushed up. We made 1, 2 attempts to go lower. You just got to stay out of this. It doesn't matter what you're trading, I think, really, isn't it? I mean, you can fail at this stuff when it's going like this with Max. Just stands to reason that you're going to do exactly the same with, someone else's. Pushed up, mate. 1, 2 times. What's going on here? Yeah, it's just when it's like this, it's just so hard to read. There's no point even making an attempt to read it like this because it's just not really giving us much, is it? Yeah, it is, isn't it? A 9-point range. Yeah, there's not a lot of room for error there, really, is there? Yeah, so we seem to be ranging here with a break out of the top. Often we get the on the opposite side. If that breaks, comes back in and continues down, there may be a bigger channel working there. It doesn't fit quite as nice as I'd like, but it's not a million miles away. Okay, so we've had a break at the top. Break. We often get something similar on the other side. So whether that will now push in, ideally to here and continue down. So okay, so that's closed. There's a new low of the day. That's better. Okay, so we're closing below this. I'd like to see a retest of this bottom. So we've had a new low from here anyway. The trouble is, the thing is, 1 minute you have a channel like this, it breaks and has a new low straight away. But lately it seems to have a break, pisses around for half an hour, and then eventually makes a new low. You got your 1 point. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Looks like a leg down with a correction and another leg down. So there may be a bigger channel at some point. In fact, what I can see happening here, maybe a bit of an overshoot there, is a break of this channel and then a continuation down to this measured move. And I think then that'll come into play. So maybe a push higher and another retouch, another touch just to confirm this channel. Hopefully before we get down here, because if you can get something around here, we've got to push down, maybe a couple of attempts to go higher. It's not going to give us it. I had a feeling it was starting to look like when it starts to flicker like this, I thought it's just going to drop. So an overshoot there. So if we can push back and maybe confirm this bigger channel, we may get an option to get something down here, because he's usually pretty accurate. Clicking finger ready. Yeah, sometimes when they do that, they'll start to flicker, don't they? I don't quite know why they do that, but it usually then ends with a quick move. So there's an overshoot. I was trying to extend that a bit, but obviously I don't mind picking up these bits. I don't class that as an overshoot, but obviously that's a different story. So we're having a bit of a bounce here, so I'd expect to push up. Be nice to just confirm this channel though. Just going to get rid of that now. Leg. Just hoping we get another push back up here before we get down here, but I don't think we're going to, in all fairness. Zoom in here a bit. Okay, I kind of like that. Fits there, fits there. Let's get rid of that for a minute. Okay, I like that. Touch, touch, touch. Couple of legs up to the EMA. Yes, I am, bud. Yeah, 21-day EMA. Leg. It's a bit congested though, that is. It's a bit too far from the EMA. Leg down with the brake. Hate sometimes the way it'll hang around there and maybe even produce a slightly lower bar and then trigger you and then push up. I'm not saying it's going to, but a lot of the times it'll do that. It'll go down a bit, down a bit, down a bit, down a bit, maybe another bar down a bit, and all of a sudden off it'll go. It almost teases you to get into the trade. If you don't take that one, you may take that one. What happens? It triggers you. Look, I'm not saying it's not going to go down, but for me, it's just too far. One, it's a bit congested. Two, it's too far from the EMA. But it is. I mean, it is relatively strong, but I just think that's dangerous, that. Okay, so there's a new low. It may come down now, but to me, it's just too far from the EMA, that is. It is a second entry short, but it is a bit congested. It's I'd still like to see this measured move played out. I believe it will. Okay, so we've had a channel down. We've made one, possibly two. Be nice to get up here. Okay, so we had a channel down. We made two attempts. If we can push above here and then get bearish, two attempts to go higher, I like that. That's a second entry short as well. It's got to push up here though, really. At least to the same height as that and then go bearish. Because I still think we're going to see this this measured leg played out. leg down. It does look like 2 legs. Just wondering whether there's going to be some short orders above there, whether it'll trigger and come down pretty quickly. I really want to see it push above the EMA and then come down and close, though. Trouble is, there's no room to the lows really there. I mean, I expect it to get down here, but there's no guarantees it's going to. Does it like a leg, 2 attempts to go higher. Kind of a nice bearish bar, but yeah, exponential. How you doing, bud? Yeah, agreed. Not really much you can do with that, is there? Trouble is, when it's like that, it could just drop or it could push up. Who knows? It does look like a leg and a leg, but you know, sometimes you can be blinded by the desire to get in and take a trade, can't you? When, I mean, at a glance, you can clearly see it's just chopping sideways. It could do either. You know, I'd like to see it come to this measured move, but there's no guarantees it's going to. I mean, you could say there's a first entry, second entry, maybe another push up here, triple test. Who knows? Trouble is, I mean, even if you're trading on a sim, just because you're trading on a sim doesn't mean you should, let's give it a go, because obviously you need, ultimately you need to be trading it like you would trading a real account. Otherwise you're kidding yourself, really. No, it's just an evaluation left. It's just one evaluation. Okay, so there's a failure there, which is triggered. Triangle once, triangle twice, failure triggered. I think this is going to come down now, I do. We have a look, 1, 2 attempts to go higher. I think this is the way down, I do. But it is congested. I just think that's it. But I think that's the way down now, I do. Trouble is, when it's congested, you just never know. But what I like about it is it's a failure and it's triggered. Yeah. See, if I'd have taken that, it's what I expected. But if I'd have taken it and it had triggered me and stopped me out, I wouldn't have had an excuse, because the simple answer would have been it's congested. So what I think is going to happen, and what I need to base my decisions on, are 2 completely different things. It is frustrating when you see it, though. But the trouble is, that's why it sucks you in. So next time I may take that then, seeing it sucks you in. Then what happens? It'll trigger you and stop you out. But there we go. I don't think there's a penguin trade there trying to go one strike with twice. In all fairness, it's congested. That, as far as I'm concerned, that's what the penguins say. It's congested. You can't take a trade there. Might work, might not. I thought it would happen. It did. Doesn't mean I was right to take a trade. The sensible thing to do would have been to leave that alone. But look at that. It's hit that and bounced off. So it just goes to show how accurate. I expected it to hit. They are accurate. A lot lately they haven't been doing it. Smaller moves they haven't, but these bigger moves like that and a bit of sideways and like that tend to be more accurate. But the smaller legs aren't always playing out fully at the moment. So one thing I've noticed, but there we go. But that's played out nice. It'll be interesting to see what happens here now. Whether it's also possible that we could end up getting something like this. Like that, maybe a spiking channel. And the reason I say that is because in this channel it's coming further away, but I wouldn't be surprised if that came up and hit there and then continued down. In fact, what I'm going to do, just out of curiosity, see if I'm thinking along the right lines, is I'm just going to put a line there like that and just see what happens. Somewhere around about there anyway. But that would work better here then, see? So, I mean, before that channel only really touched twice. So I've just gone for somewhere around about there to there. So I'd be interested if it hits there and starts to come down, which in all fairness, excuse me, what I'm seeing at the moment, it could do. And if it does, then I'll redraw that channel because it's only really touched it. That pink channel's only really touched it once, twice. And really it needs to sort of confirm it. So... Okay, have a look. Leg up. That would be interesting actually, because that would be a leg and a leg. That would take us right to that line. So if it does, then the reason I'm drawing that is because we touched here, and obviously we're coming away here. We're coming away from this side, and same here, we're right on the midline now. So that's the reason I'm drawing it from there to there. If it does hit there and continue down, then I'll redraw that purple line. So bearing in mind that measured move's played out as well, so there is a possibility also that we could end up still just being in a bigger range here. It's possible. A lot of the times now we could end up continuing down on that channel, but that measured move has played out right to the tick, so it may not, it may continue up. But at the moment the bias for me is down. That's what it's been doing. So we'll see here. Have you noticed I had a feeling it was going to stall a bit there. Just wondering whether it's going to drag in a few shorts there and then trap them and push up to this line. As I personally think this is going to come up to here. Up we go. That's where I expect. Well, I mean, if it's reversing, it'll continue obviously on up, but if it hits this area and then starts to push back down, I'll adjust that line, that pink channel then. Or there's always a possibility that it may push back down from that pink channel. The bit that's got me thinking about a bigger channel is the fact that it's coming away. It didn't continue on down to this area, but perhaps it's not going to because of the measured move. But this looks to me like a leg and another leg. Hey lads, where do you get your marking tools from? These, Clay, they're from a company called, in fact, the indicator is called Algotic. I think it's about £300. They've given me a copy to use just to see how I get on with it. I mean, I can I can talk to them about a discount at some point, but I'd rather use it first and see what it's like, because obviously if it's something that's not going to be of value, then obviously, but if it is, and I think it's going to be, then I maybe not get a discount off it. But it's called Algotech, but it does a bunch of things. This is just one of a few things it does. It plots your current high, where the market opens yesterday, and where the current low is, and it does a bunch of other things as well. If I hover over a bar, it gives me all that information up here, what the bar is. If I click the wheel, it gives me that, tells me down the bottom what time a bar was, what date it was, blah blah blah. And there's another thing you can do if you right click, it'll give you something similar to this, something very similar to this, various bits of information and stuff. But I'm just really scratching the surface at the moment. But it's called Algotech, and the actual software. Where's me? What's it? The actual software is Chart Enhancer. It's called. I've only just scratched the surface of it, but I thought I'd have a play around with it. And if I like it, I think it's something we're going to use. I mean, straight away, I do like the fact that it gives me that. And if I think it's okay, then they do a discount thing for customers and what have you. But so leg up. I expect to come up to here. Be interested to see what happens there. If it does start to work back down, then I'll adjust that channel. There is more difference since Penguin looks for bigger moves or bigger context. Yeah, he does. It's hard to get Mac out of my head, actually. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to adjust that anyway. Let's see how I get on with it. Look. Somewhere around there, maybe. Whether it is or not, I don't know, but the way that measured leg fits, it would take us up right to here, which kind of is right where we want to be if there is a bigger channel. It may not be. So we've had a channel, we've had a break and a new low. Okay, so we've had a channel up, we've had a break, made 1, 2 attempts to go higher, push strongly through the EMA. Are we continuing down? Is that a trade
Order submitted.
Penguin may take? See how that finishes.
Order submitted.
Try 1 to 1. I think that's right. Leg up, we had a break, made 2 attempts to push higher, push through the EMA. Let's just get this on there and see how that works. Okay, so that's bang on where it needs to be, actually. I hope that's right. We'll soon find out. We've had the shadow, we've had a Nula, we've had a push up, we've had a break, made 1, 2 attempts to go higher, push strongly through the EMA. We are generally working down. But you know what? I have a feeling that that's still up there somewhere. That would actually take us right to here, wouldn't it? Leg up, break, 1, 2 attempts, push down. I can only just go for it. I'm out before the bottoms anyway. Okay, I'm in anyway, so I've just got to go with it, yeah, but we've had a channel up, we've had a break, made 2 attempts to go higher, push strongly through the EMA, and we do seem to be in this downward channel. We haven't made a measured leg yet, so got a bad feeling. Leg maybe. I like the way that's stopped and turned there, so whether it can... I need to get below this bullish bar here, really. There's also entries, yeah. If we can get below here, leg. It's pushed strongly below the EMA. So leg and leg. I think that's okay. Whether it's a correct trade in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. I was hoping that would break below there. If it breaks below there, I think I'm okay. It's 3 points anyway, so it's not a huge risk. I mean, it is pretty bearish, isn't it? It kind of fits in with that as well. We've pushed up. I'm just trying to go over it in my head here. We had a break. We've made 2 attempts to go higher, pushed strongly through the EMA, and I've took it there, and it sort of respects this bigger channel. So whether it's correct in the way of Penguin or not, I don't know. But I think if we can break below here, I think we'll be okay. Come on, push down. Come on. That's 5 bars closed there. Leg down. I think we're okay. Okay, it's broke below it, so that's a good sign. push. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. No, don't do that on me. I'm not sure whether to get out of this because... No, let's just leave it. I did it yesterday. I could have got out of something. I ended up leaving it and it worked. One tick. Come on. Leg and leg. I'm just wondering whether... So what I'm going to do, because I'm not sure whether this trade is right or not, I'm just going to at least going to get out for break even. At least I'm not guaranteed to not lose everything. I think we're okay. Leg and a leg. One more tick. Come on. Oh, we're bouncing off it.
Order filled.
Okay, so obviously, you know, in fact, you guys, you Penguin guys, see, I'm still relatively new to trading Penguin, although I watch him a bit. Whether that's a good trade or not, it's all right. I was just looking at something. So what I'm seeing anyway is one, there's a downtrend, so that's a good sign. Channel touch, channel touch, channel touch. It's pushed up, it's braked. So it's, let me just analyse this. The trouble is, when you learn one way and then you move on to another way, it can be quite conflicting at times. So it's hard to know whether it was the right thing to do or not. But what I can see here is we've had a channel, we've had a break and a new low. Now we've had one push up, we've had a break, and we've made one attempt to go higher, come back to the EMA, made a second attempt to go higher, and straight away pushed strongly through the EMA. That tells me it's reacted to this line. So look where it's hit that line. Now, granted, I didn't adjust. I had my, do you remember, I changed my channel to go from a spiking channel, but I am aware it's in the right area. So the fact that it's pushed strongly below, I think is a good sign. It's reacted there. It's pushed up. We've had a break. It's gone a bit sideways, and straight away it's reacted strongly, pushed straight down below the EMA. So that would indicate me it's reacting again here. Now, what is the overall? The overall is down, isn't it? So there's a few good points to go for that trade. Whether it's something that would exactly be a Penguin trade, I don't know, but it's all part of it, isn't it? You know, I take a trade, I see what I'm going to post this in a minute on the Discord. I get other people's opinions. There's more experience than me. See what they think, and I'll also I'll see what Penguin thought later. So I'm just going to take a quick snapshot of this and just see what they think. But I do like the way it's reacted to there strongly. So that for me is a good indicator. Where's the Discord? It's called, I'm not sure whether you have to pay for it. I paid $29.99. I signed up about a week ago, just under a week ago, I think. So I'm not sure whether you can, in fact, if Benj is on here, he'll probably tell you. He's on there. I don't know whether you can be part of this Discord without paying the $29 a month. I don't know. But I'm just going to take a quick snapshot of this and I'll post it and just see what people's opinions are. But at least it worked anyway. It is paid. Okay, it's paid only. But in all fairness, if you're going to trade the Penguin guy, I think it's useful because obviously what you've got in the Discord is people who've been trading. I mean, some of people have been there a while, so you've obviously got people in there experienced, and it's worth it. Absolutely, it's $29, $29.99. It's peanuts, to be fair. What I'm paying for is the guy because I think he's got some skills, serious skills. Just the way he reads the market, I think he's extremely good at what he does. And I got a trader buddy of mine, Martin, who said he thinks he's borderline genius, and I happen to agree. But yeah, 29, and not just that. If you're going to trade this style, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do max or whatever. I know some of you do, penguin, some of you do other things. But if you are trading penguin, or you're at least looking at penguin, I think it's cheap. And then if you do go on to, let me just get him on YouTube. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't care who you are. If you're good at something, you're on my radar. And let me just have a look. Where are you? I keep going past him. He's changed his little icon thingy. Where is it? Oh, I've gone past it. Here we go. As far as I'm concerned, he's good, so I'm going to advertise him. And you guys know me, I only advertise stuff that I use myself. I advertise Apex, I use it myself. I advertise Pats, I use it myself. I don't advertise stuff that I don't use. I advertise Replicanto because I use it. So if you don't know him, that's his website. That's his YouTube channel. And that's his website, I'll just whip you onto it. You can see I'm a member. So there's obviously videos in there which explain things, and you've got, if you click on community, it takes you via the Discord, so you can download the Discord. So there you go. I don't know who this handsome lad is. Not sure actually, but so there you go. But he is good. I mean, if you're not sure about him or you don't know much about him, watch his videos. Someone told me go around about March. He explains more about what he does. But I mean, if you look, he marks his losses straight away. But look what he's averaging price wise: 3 points, 6.25 points, 3.75 points, and look, even 1-1, and he's still up 3.75 points, up 5 points, 4.25, 6 points, 11 points, 9 points. That's the only loss I've seen him do for a long time, at -3 ticks. But look, every single day. Now, you could say, well, anybody could put that. No, because he marks his losses as well. And not only that, his trades make sense, but just look how he trades. But if you're not sure about him or you don't know, have a look at some of his videos. But look how he averages. Look, he's had a loss there. He posts it. Had a loss there, he posts it. He's had a loss there. He has plenty of losses. Look, he had a loss there, he had a loss there. I think he trades at around about loss there, around about 80%, maybe a touch less. There you go, a loss there. So, loss there. So he has plenty of losses. And you'll find most people that advertise these type of things don't post. Very few people post losses. And that, in my opinion, it's worked out really nice, that look. That, in my opinion, is a fair player, I think. But only a dozen wins. Yeah, there's plenty of losses on there. He'll have a loss or two in a week, and he posts them. But if you're good at something, it doesn't matter that you should post your losses. It doesn't matter. The proof's in the pudding. It's about what you're making on average over a week or a month, and how many points you're turning over a week or a month, sorry. So we do seem like we've got a nice downtrend coming on here, so that's always a good thing. So whether you think that's good or not, I don't know, but I was a bit misguided there. 1 minute I was taking Pats, next minute I was taking there. But the beauty is, I think I was down 5 points, and now I'm back up. I've just pulled 3 back. So you can get your points back pretty quick, and that's the good thing there. So I'm just going to post that one, and then I'm going to get a right have a look, daughter's home. I'm going to take a break in a minute. I'm going to post that and just see what they think. Let me just get this out of the way. I'll have to figure out how to do this so I can just flip it on there somehow. Trying to find where the bloody thing is now. That's it. Okay, I'm just going to post it. and then I'm going to get right rollicking. If you are newish to trading as well, get on one of these Facebook groups and post your chart every day and ask for feedback. I did that for about a year and a half, I think, on Pat's. Every day I'd post it and ask your feedback, and you slowly get better and better, and the comments slowly get better and better. I think what helped me out there is the trend. Obviously, you know, we've all heard the term "the trend's your friend," and that's probably a good example of it. But we had a push up, we had a break, 2 pushes up to a new high. So I don't know. See, it's very easy to say I'm seeing a penguin style trade. We had a channel up, we made 2 attempts to go higher, pushed strongly through the EMA. Now that's what I hear him in my head. But whether that's something he would take or not, I don't know. These things don't come overnight. They do take a bit of time. But it did work, and it worked nice, and it's obviously continuing on down, so that's good. But it's nice to get something back anyway. I don't know what the hell I was thinking there. So we got channel down. We had a break. Made 2 attempts to go higher. I should have left that, to be fair, because in all honesty, market's climbing up. So I shouldn't be thinking about going short really there. Once it starts to push down there. So I should have left that alone for max, but I thought maybe this is bottoming and we're going to push up. So 1 minute. That's the trouble with max. Sometimes you can jump in quick without thinking about it. But I don't know. Well, anyway, messages are coming in now. People are typing. Prepare for a right rogering. Penguin charges monthly, less than the cost of discount. Yeah, absolutely. $30 is cheap, in my opinion, and in all fairness, he's worth it. So yeah, I think that partially worked because of the trend. But what I will say is, we had a channel up and we tried to push up once and we tried to push up twice, and we had a relatively bearish bar and then it dropped quickly, which told me people are selling there. So, you know, it doesn't matter what you're trading. If you obviously understand the basics of markets, that this is a channel down, we touch here, we touch here, we touch here in a downtrend. Market's clearly got a downward bias. So straight away, you know, in an ideal world, this is really where you want to be taking your trades from. So we had a little short-term trend channel. We had a break, 2 pushes up to a new high, relatively bearish bar, and then a quick sell-off quickly. What was that? I don't know. I can't remember what that bar was. What is it? It's about 2.5 points, something like that. Quickly. About two and a bit points, straight below the EMA. Which told me there's people selling there. So, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. You think what you think. I'm still relatively new. I've been watching it for a while and trying to understand what's going on, but actually trading it, you know, is a bit of a different story. So here we go. Let's have a look. To me, it looked like one leg on a big picture. We reached a measured move. Downtrend was not confirmed. My channel was holding well, then so I skipped it. Okay, fair comment. Major measured move, is it MMM? Measured move something. You want to see 2 clear big legs to fade upwards before resuming short. Okay, so 1 leg up, back, and another leg up. That would have been a better option. So in other words, lack of legs really. It was a little bit sideways, but as I say, I think the channel, the downward bias, saved my bacon there, I think. So although the trend working in your favor, yeah, absolutely, yeah, we could easily push through it, that leg up. Yeah, agreed. Okay, so that's why I post these on there, because you get feedback from people who've been trading this longer than I have. Do not be a hero and CT. What does that mean? What's the CT? Do not be a hero and CT. And then he's put, what's the CT? Oh, counter trend. Do not be a hero and counter trend. Counter trend. Yeah, see, that wasn't count. I went short there. That's not counter trend trading to me. Am I missing something? Read this guide. Is that for me, Benji? Is it read this guide? It has examples. Let me have a look. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I got you. Okay, I got you. How do I save that? Let's have a look. Okay. How do I save that? Oh, it's not for me. Got you. Okay, I'm going to say counter trend trading. Yeah. How do I save a web page? This link you've sent me, bud. Can I just right click on the link and save it or not? Copy text, copy thread. Speaking now. How do I save it? I've opened that page. Your price action trading quick learn guide. How do I save that, Benji? Just had a mental black. If I actually click on the actual, hold on a minute. No, it's got copy sent. How do I save that? Bookmark it. Okay. Split screen, no. Favorites, no. Collections, no. Browser essentials. Personal, what's that? Bing, no. I bookmark it. Right, you'll have to help me up again, mate. How do I bookmark it? Add this page to favourites. That would work, wouldn't it? Done. I've added it to favourite. How do I bookmark it? Okay. It's alright, my wife's more computer savvy than me. Okay. I've added it to favourites anyway. I'll get my wife to show me how to do this later. Yeah. I'll keep it there actually. I'll have a look at that later. Yeah, thanks for that, bud. Okay, so clear downtrend anyway, so that's a good start anyway. So leg up break. So clear downtrend, no argument there, touching that line really nicely, so fair enough. What I need to do is transition from max trades without getting confused. I should have just left that, to be fair. I did say I'm only going to take absolute real sitters, obvious ones, and in all fairness, although that was a failure, it's sideways, so I should have just left that. But there you go, lesson learned. Yeah, see, what I don't quite get is look at my chart there. Touch perfect, touch nice, touch nice. When I look at Mac's chart, look how he's got that. Touching nice. Why is he? I don't quite know why he hasn't. Why has he done that? Because if you adjust that up a touch, it fits perfectly. I don't know why you wouldn't adjust that just a tiny. I know it touches there, but it doesn't quite make sense there. Oh, here we go. Shit, here we go. Yeah, I don't quite get that. Right, okay. I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break and make a cup of tea. My wife and daughter have just come home from work and school, so back in 5. I'll just be 5 minutes, make a quick cup of tea, and I'll be back. Okay, back. Right, cup of tea in hand. Okay, so far still in this channel. That would have been nice. I have a feeling I'm going to get a breakout here. So in a little channel break, 2 pushes down to a new low. I do like the way it shows me my current low. Current low of the day. It saves you accidentally getting caught out back here by something that was lower. Big bearish bar there. So we've got channel down, break new low, 2 pushes up to a new high, bounced strongly off here. Trouble is we're right at the lows here. There's no distance, so I can't take that really. Yeah, thanks for that, Benji. I've got it on my other, got it over here on another little window. I'll save that after. No. Oh no, what have I done? Oh, I've got rid of my YouTube channel. Oh, sorry about that. I deleted the. I shut down. At least I can go back onto it anyway. Okay, big bearish bar, then a big strong push up. So clearly congested. Sure, that indicator there, bud, that is, there's more to it up here. It's called algo tick. It does various different things, but part of it is plotting the highs of the day, the current open where the market officially opened, and the low. Also, it gives you what you trade in here, the price, and the tick countdown. And it does a bunch of other stuff as well. I'm just playing around with it at the moment. I don't know too much about it. But it's called Algotech, or the company's Algotech, and I think the indicator itself is called, let me have a look. It's called Chart Enhancer. It does a bunch of other things as well, but I'm still quite new to it, so yeah. If I get on with it okay, and I think it's useful, and it's starting to be, I'll speak to the guy and see if we can get a discount or something for you guys, because I think it's about $300, I think, at the moment. But it does other stuff as well, like if you right click, it does something very similar to this, where it gives you various different bits of information in there and all that sort of stuff, but very similar to that. But I've only just scratched the surface. But I like, straight away, I like that. I love the fact that it gives me there. So I don't accidentally, if the price action's back here, maybe a further low for the day, it tells me exactly where the current low is of the day. Because a lot of the times it'll bounce off it. If the price action's back here and I can't see it in it, but, you know, we're coming down to the lows. I like the fact that it does that. So, channel down, 1 attempt to go higher, 2 attempt to go, it's just congested at the moment, it could do anything, so there's nothing there for me. Sorry, Sean, I didn't read the last bit. Excuse me a sec. Excuse me just a sec, I'm just going to knock on the door. Sorry about that. More Amazon crap my wife's ordered, probably. Sorry, Sean. Top toolbar, that's with Mac. It's on Mac's site, that. You got to join his to get that, which is $125 a year. And it gives you all this bit of information. Sorry, mate, I thought you meant this stuff here. Possible second entry short. Trouble is, it's congested, isn't it? Oh, excuse me. It's also a failure there. That bullish bar is triggered. It's also a failure. But in all honesty, it's just not worth trading there and all that lot. Sorry, Sam, is that open plot on the indicator to allow for, is that real-time high or ETH? I'm not sure what you mean. Is this what you mean? You're on about this, Sam, are you? I think that's what you're talking about. It just gives you current highs of the day, open and lows of the day. I think that's what you mean. Okay, so there is a bit of a break here. it is coming further and further away from this side, so whether it turns into maybe a slightly less current open is open for, there's a little icon right where all I can see is us. I'm assuming it's USA section, I think. There's a little icon on my screen which is right covering that word, the last word. Okay, so leg down. 1, 2 attempts higher. Interesting. Benji posted on the Discord, testing something new, trading higher tick charts in the afternoon or wherever volume dies. Why? Avoid chops, fake outs, less likely to take any BS setups. Wait for good BP setups. Interesting. Yeah, changing the I have when markets are quiet or volumes low gone down to the 1,000 tick chart. Sometimes it can show setups, but some people say you get fake outs. I don't quite know. Higher tick. Okay, so just out of curiosity, let's have a look at the 3,000 tick, see if that helps, see if it makes a difference. See if this looks any different. Not really much, does it? 4K. I've got the 4K on here, I think. I've had it before, or have I? Oh no, I might have changed it. Let's have a look. Tick. I thought we had the 4K. So edit. Yeah, sometimes you can filter out all the crap. So we've got a leg down, 1 attempt to go higher, 2 attempts to go higher. Maybe this is the way down. Who knows? Yeah, it does make you wonder whether there is a spike in a channel there. That's the trouble. It's so hard to work out. I mean, see, we got a channel down, made 1, 2 attempts to go higher. Something you got to look into, maybe put it on a chart above your head and just keep an eye on it and see what it does. I think it's, if you're going to do something like that, I think it's better to get it on a separate screen. I did it with 1,000 tick for a while. Get it on a separate screen and just watch it. See what it does. Okay, so let's have a little look here. Channel down. It's tempting to take that.
Order submitted.
2 attempts to go. No, leg down. 1, 2 attempts to go higher. No, because there's not enough room to get out with these lows. Think about what
Order
you're doing,
cancelled.
boy. Not enough room. It might continue down, but that I think you've got to assume is a break, and it may just make a new low, or it could start pushing up. I don't think there's enough room there. Well, there isn't enough room to the lows to get 1-to-1, so it's not sensible, that. So I nearly had a moment of weakness. So if I was going to take it, say, 1 tick below there to there, there's clearly not enough room to get out for the lows. If you're going to take something like that, really, you want to get out around about here. Well, where it is now, I always like to go 1 tick up from where my bar is, where my bottom is. Sorry. So whether I'd have triggered that or not, I don't know, but it's, yeah, I got to stop. I got to stop getting it into trade around this area. It's just, it's a bad idea. I'm glad I got rid of me thinking in the end. Got rid of me order. Watch filter out noise, but yeah. So whether it'll work or not, I don't know. But this, to me, it depends how you've got your channel there. In all fairness, we've gone from here to here to here. It's fitting nice. But after this, it's coming further and further away from here. So does that mean it's losing momentum? Or does that mean my channel is slightly wrong? Let's put it to there and bring it down to maybe a spike in a channel. Let's put it down to there, see if that makes things look any different. Maybe. It's hard to say. Sometimes, though, you can keep adjusting and adjusting and adjusting, and what you're doing, you're covering up the fact that we've had a break. So let's leave that as it is for now. Those 3 will fit in nice. Well, 4, touch, 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 touch. So at some point you're going to have a break, and there's no point in keep adjusting and adjusting and adjusting, because you never take into consideration a break. And obviously a break can result excuse me a sec. Sorry, a break can obviously result in a new low and then a possible reversal. So every time you get a new, so every time we get a small break, you adjust that. You know, you're still thinking about going short then, when you've got to just give it that little bit of time to possibly make a new low and then possibly push up. But it may continue down all day and it may not. But what I will say is there is always the possibility, and I've seen it happen before lots of times, that we end up just having something like this and it pushes back in, but it is finding some resistance down there. You can clearly see that. So going short into that, especially if you're going for 1-to-1, if you're going to go short there, which you may do, but you want to get out before this bottom, really. But there's a lot of support there. It's clearly struggling. It's bounced there. I think you'd have got a 1.5 out of there, I think. No, actually, a point at best. I've got to focus on not jumping into trades. Sometimes I can get a little bit too excited without thinking. You see a solid bar, all of a sudden, that's it. You shut your mind off and aim for the sell button. I've got to stop that, really, and sometimes it's better to let a trade go than to take a stupid trade and end up making a mistake. By not taking a trade, you guarantee you're not going to lose any money. quite often the case, really, when you get downtrends. Lately, quite often, you just don't get a lot of good setups. You'll get a nice big move of, I don't know, maybe 60, 80 points and no real setups. It's not as big a move as it looks, actually. 41 points. In fact, we had a news event maybe 4 or 5 months ago. There was a 55-point green bar, so in the grand scheme of things, 40-odd points isn't huge. This PA is mind numbing. Yeah, you're not wrong. Oh, somebody's took a trade. Let's have a look. Excuse me, sorry about that. I'm coughing down the mic. Someone's taken that trade. NQ. There's a little bit room. Right, okay. They're out. Sorry, it's NQ. I'm going to say there's not much room to the bottom, but they're on the NQ. Push up, push up. Trouble is, to take that trade, we're right at the bottom, so I mean, it may well push down. You generally expect it to. It's looking pretty bearish today, isn't it? But it's just not worth the risk, is it? Because there's no room anyway. There's a tick, and that's it. So it's all right. I just saw that trade and thought, ooh, okay. But NQ. I've not traded NQ with an actual account. I played around with it on a sim, and that scared me. It's that bloody quick. I think the NQ is for real men. I think it's a bit above me. Yeah, I'd rather it go up or down than this sideways, but unfortunately, it's part of it. That's when you want to get a TV on the go, watch something. I'm what's it in the blacklist again? I am binge watching the blacklist. I haven't watched the last 2 series after Liz died, but I'm coming up to where Liz died again. About 5-6 episodes off it. Trouble is, this is just picking tops, and I think we've established I'm bloody useless at them, so I'm just gonna have to sit out. That's the trouble, really, when it does this. If there's any sort of relatively newbies in, when you see this, just stay away from it. Unless you really, I mean, you've even Max a seasoned trader, and I've heard him say you just can't trade this stuff. So while it's doing this sideways stuff, it could go up or down. I mean, the bias is down, so I think it's more likely. But we have had a break in a lot of cases. We'll have a break, make a new low, and then off it will trot in the other direction. So it could do either or. So when it's doing this, you just got to sit out. It is hard. It's boring sometimes, and it's so easy to try and think. I mean, see that bar there, second entry long. Ooh, you might think I missed that one, and it shut up and I got my points, but next time it'll trigger you and drop out the bottom. So when it's like this sideways, it's a lot more unpredictable, and second entry longs like that don't necessarily, work the same as they would in a nice moving channel. So when it is like this, just sit tight, stay out of it, put your feet up. So whether you trade this as a fell breakout, that fell breakout came in to the bottom. But as I've just said, one way I'm on about staying out of this, and I'm looking for a trade. But see, it's hard. It's hard. The trouble is, when you're looking at this, straight away you're thinking short. Now, whether you'd have taken that short or not, and you might have done, the trouble is sometimes you'll get a couple of short trades and all of a sudden it'll rocket off in the other direction and take out all your stops. So I think sometimes it's very easy to get stuck in that mindset that we can't go up yet, we've got to make a new low. And that's not always the case. In a lot of cases, it'll give you a nice bearish bar, then another nice bearish bar, and then all of a sudden off it'll shoot. Market's got a really sort of clever way of making you miserable, so you're always really best to stay out of this. But I'm just talking on the penguin side of it. So we got this leg down, 2 attempts to break out. Does that mean it's going to come down? I don't know. Trouble is, I could put a little mark here just to see if it would work, but it doesn't. It doesn't change the fact that it might not be a good setup. Usually, that's one of the things I like about the Penguin Discord is if someone takes a trade, usually they'll copy it and put it on there, so you can see what sort of trade other people are taking as well. That's one thing you can't do in this on this YouTube channel. Yeah, so we've got a leg up there. There's a bearish bar there, and that looks like they've been trapped there, so it may be a leg. We may get a bit of a push up here. But there'll have been some shorts there, fading that. There's some short stops there. Whether they got out or not, I don't know, but might see a bit, yeah, I expected a bit of a push up there. That's what I mean. You may take a short there, think, yeah, we're coming down. It comes back on you and you leave it and you wait and you wait. Oh, there's another bearish bar there. Fell, fade that breakout. What happens? You take it. So you've got 2 trades there. Then what happens? Triggers you, pushes straight up, stops out that one and that one. That's what I mean. The market can be rotten sometimes. It really can. It's very clever. It's very efficient at making money and making people miserable. So unless something's really clear, you just got to stay out of this sort of stuff. Should I? Yeah, I didn't see that, mate. Yeah, I've seen it. To be fair, I've seen it up until I think it's end of series 8. I watched it maybe a year ago, and then they've had series 9 and 10, haven't they? So I thought if you haven't watched them for 6 or 7 months, you forget half of it. So I started from season 1 and went right through. But I think I'm on about episode 12 of season 8, and she dies at the end of season 8, doesn't she? At the moment, she's trying to kill Reddington. But yeah, I like it actually. I think he plays a really good part. I like James Spader. He plays a good part. brutal but good part. Okay, so leg and a leg. So what are we doing here? Is this a bottoming pattern? Are we pushing up higher? Or are we going to eventually pull down? Or are we going to have a leg and a leg and then something else? Who knows? Okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? Trouble is, it's easy to get sucked into going along there, really. I'd like to push up, have a break, bounce off here, and then continue up before I think about going along into this. Channel up, break. 2 attempts to go lower, bouncing off here, and then a push up. Had to run to the liquor store. How's it going? Liquor store. Things that bad, mate, are they? Yeah, so far so good. I had 2 losses. I sort of went a bit pats 1 minute, and then I just got a bit, I don't know, I got a bit careless there. We had a channel down, we had a break, 2 attempts to go higher, push through the email. I took that one, and it triggered me and stopped me out. To be fair, it's congested. I should have left that one, but that one, after we'd had a sort of depending on how you drew this, it looked like a failure to me, and I thought we're going to push up. So I just, trouble is, when you've been trading max, you can't help but see max sometimes, but I'm just trying to forget max a little bit and focus on the bigger picture. Obviously, if I see, a perfect 2 legs up to here and a wonderful downtrend, something that looks, the type that we rarely see anymore, absolute sitter, I'll be stupid not to take it, but steady. Okay, so little channel there, possible break or possible not break. That's gone a bit slow, hasn't it? So we've got this bigger channel. It is losing momentum, so we may just get a couple of legs, and then it's possible it could continue down. I don't know what. Let me just have a quick look on the daily. What's the daily doing? Yeah, daily's looking pretty bearish, to be fair. This is the daily candle. We had that leg up, couple of legs up. Leg down, leg down. Yeah, it's looking pretty bearish at the moment, I think. So I wouldn't be shocked if we did continue on down. Not drowning in despair. What did you buy, mate? What are you drinking? Scotch is my pick. Singamore I tend to drink a lot of nowadays, lads. What's your thoughts on the second entry short at the beginning of your horizontal channel? Horizontal channel. That one there, is that what you're on about? Off here? The beginning. That one there. Well, that's your signal bar, isn't it? That's the one. I wouldn't have taken that because the signal bar's not brilliant. And if I ever find we get a leg up there and break a new leg, if I ever find the signal bar's not brilliant, then I'll wait for a lower high then, because obviously we did work down, but when you get a sort of a bar that's a little bit neutrally, for want of a better word, that red bar isn't the signal bar, the one after that. No, that's not your signal bar, mate. That's your signal bar. Sorry. There's your signal bar there. Second entry short. There's first entry. That's just the way down. But that's your signal bar there in a second entry short. So that's the one you got to base whether you go there on, because it doesn't matter what that looks like. You're not going to know what that's looked like until you've gone short. So yeah, that's your signal bar in a second entry short. If that's nice and bearish, then you're looking for it to continue on down. So you base it based on that, and that's a bit neutral, to be fair. So if I'm expecting it to come down because we're in a downtrend or something like that, then what I'll do then is wait for a lower high just to confirm, then give it a chance to move, and then have a little pullback. But yeah, there's your signal bar, mate, not that one. Have a look. If that was bearish with Thomas Wade, that trade will be the second bar and call it a double bar setup. I've not heard of that, mate. Yeah, if you're trading on max, that will be your setup there. That will be your second entry short there. It doesn't matter what that bar does, because you're basing your move on what that bar's telling you. Obviously, if you know the context is right. See, I wouldn't have taken that, but if we'd have got a lower high after this and we're still in this channel, then I would have done. But yeah, no, I don't know what Thomas Wade, the trade would have been the second bar and called it a double bar setup. I've not heard of that, mate. But as I say, when you get sort of experience, and he's been doing it a fair few years now, you'll naturally find your own rhythm, and you'll naturally add to your trades. That's genuinely why I believe Mac doesn't show us his trades, because I believe he changes things because he can, and he's experienced enough to do that. So yeah, Mac and Thomas Wade would label it differently, yeah. But do you know what? And I've heard Mac say this to me: when you learn the trade, you'll naturally find your own way. You'll find setups of your own. If you see the market doing the same thing again and again and again, and you can see profit, if you're seeing that market do exactly the same thing 9 times out of 10, you'd be daft not to take it, and then you call it your own setup. That's how it develops. You know, Mac originally, I believe, took it from Thomas Wade. Took it from Al Brooks, and he's slightly different because he'd have found his own way of doing things. So that's probably why. Double bar entry is a good entry, if you understand. Yeah, I've not heard of it, to be fair, but it interests me. I do watch Thomas Wade. I've not heard him say. I don't watch a massive amount of him, but I've not heard him say that. But yeah, but that's what I mean. If he sees something happening again and again, there you go. But okay, so that's pushed up, and then you've had that little bit of break above this, so, and then pushed down. But so let me have a look. Let me have a look at this. We've got this channel down. We made 2 attempts to go higher, failure, But the trouble is, with that bar, it stops at the EMA, and so does that bar, and it's only after this bar that it pushes down. It's really gone too far then for a trade, isn't it? But it could be a leg down and 2 attempts to go higher, and then a failure. But I was under the impression, probably wouldn't want to take that, because we're obviously pushing up. You just don't know whether it's going to continue or, hit these highs. But I like to, well, when Penguin talks about it, pushes, I hear this thing in his head, pushes strongly through the EMA, and that pushed down and stopped at the EMA, and that one went down, up, and stopped at the EMA. So there'd be a bit of uncertainty of what to do there for me. So this might be occasion that if the Penguin guy did take that, he may put a mark there and put that it didn't fill. Because I'd have preferred that bar to come a bit lower, maybe to the midline, and then that might be a more of an obvious entry. But I do hear that thing in, you pick up certain things when you listen to people, and for me, I hear him say it pushed strongly through the EMA, and that to me then indicates, okay, we have pushed down now, so maybe this is where we continue on down. But look at that, it's gone down, dropped out the bottom, and pulled straight back up into this range. So if you were going to take that there, you get out 1 for 1, I think. So if you're going to go, let's say there, and there, you'd be comfortably out. The trouble is with me, problem is I have with that is we've had this push up in the channel. So we've come down and we've had a break, and we have multiple times tried to push lower and we're struggling. And now originally I had something there, and we've actually pushed out now in what looks like a channel. So it may push out, have a break, and then push higher. And then what we may end up doing is having something slightly wider like that pushing on up, because it could start going up at any time, really. But that's my issue about taking a short there. But having said that, we have got a channel. We have tried to go higher once, actually a little twice, the third time. So it may be okay, but I would be more interested in that. As I say, if that bar then pushed strongly through and then came back and maybe retested this underside. But I'm still quite new to taking, although I watch a lot of him, I'm still quite new to taking his trades. And it's okay watching it. When you start taking it, you obviously got to base your decisions every time that you're doing the right thing. And the way that pushed down and stuck there at the EMA was a bit flat. I did think maybe we're going to get a couple of legs down and then a push up and then have a sort of a wider uptrend. Because it is a bit confusing. But look, we pushed down relatively strongly. We dropped out the bottom, pushed straight back up, and now we're right back up near the top again. So it's a bit confusing at the moment, really. And my policy is if I'm confused, then you're best off just stay out of it. And I find that hard myself sometimes. I break my own rules sometimes, but when it's doing this, unless you really know what you're doing, you've been doing this stuff years, I haven't, so I don't really know what's going on here. Someone's taken a trade on there, and yeah, they're out nicely as well. Good on them. Oh, maybe it didn't come back. It's all right. Someone on Discord's put one there. They put a sell limit order here, actually, just below the EMA, around about here, and it just dropped, never came back. And they would have been out right at the bottoms, which is plenty of space there. It went below that quite a bit. Yeah, I'll look into that for Thomas Wade. I've not heard him say that. Double. I might have done. I'm not paid too much attention to it, but double bar entry. But yeah, as you progress and develop as a trader, you'll naturally come up with your own trades. Because if you, as I say, if you see something happen multiple times, it's human nature, If you walk a different way to work and you find a wallet, chances are the following day you're going to walk that way again. When something happens a lot, it's naturally you start to think, oh, okay, what's going on here? Then there's something happening. I'm missing something. You know, we're always learning. So now, are we going to get a leg and a leg? That's possible. Have a look. I mean, if it continues down, I may readjust that. I don't know at the moment. Did I take that trade? Oh, no, I marked it, didn't I? Sorry, I thought, I don't remember taking that. It's still struggling. I think double trap, not double bar. Ofer, what's his name? Thomas Wade. Is that what you mean? Yeah, because normally that'll be a signal bar there when they get up to that will be a signal bar. And it's not a great signal bar, to be fair, but you know, I've seen Mac take complete cross doges around this line before. So, but if we're in a downtrend, then I'm looking obviously to go short at this area, and that's a bit of a naff bar. Then I'll tend to wait for a lower high, but there wasn't one there. Double trap. Yeah, I hear him talk about a double trap. So, yeah. Second entry short there. Try to push down. Made 2 attempts to go higher. Is that a good trade to take? In all fairness, though, every time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, multiple times there, it's struggling to get through there. But also, if I think leg down, made 2 attempts to go higher, failure, push back down. Trouble is, we're at the lows of the day. There's nowhere to go, really. So I believe you can't take that as a penguin trade, because you usually, if he's taking somebody's out before the lows, obviously it's not to say it's not going to push down. We've got a leg down, 2 attempts. It probably will. But sometimes when you get this type of bar here, it'll trigger you and push up. So we've got a channel down there. We had a break, made 2 attempts to go higher. The trouble is, you are going short into that, and it's done this multiple times, so it's got more chance of bouncing again off this. So, and that's, it's 10 tick bar, ain't finished yet. Tick below, tick above. You're risking 3 points there, and you're literally right at the lows. So there's no real trade there. No, my bad. I thought you were talking about. No. Hey John, how you doing? What it was talking about that, because someone asked me, was that a good second entry there? And I went, the signal bar's not brilliant, and someone thought the signal bar was that. And then someone mentioned, let me have a look. Someone mentioned Thomas Wade would trade the second bar and call it a double bar setup. So there's your signal bar for me. He said Thomas Wade would trade that and call it well, in all fairness, if you're thinking, okay, this is where I want to take a short at this area, and that pushes down, maybe it's not a bad place to take a trade, because if that's not brilliant, that continued down. So maybe it is. If Thomas Wade sees that type of trade, not a good setup, but every time when you get a bearish bar after that and it continues down, at some point you'd be thinking about trading that. That's what I mean. If you sit here day after day, month after month, year after year, and you see 2 legs up, nice second entry short, but the bar's naff, but the second bar then continues down, you may start to trade that. You're probably daft not to. But as you get more experience, it's like anything. You learn something, then whatever you learn in life, you learn a basic way. If you learn at school or college or construction or whatever, you learn a certain way. You're taught a certain way to do it. But after a while, when you get out in the big world, you tend to find your own way. Most people who train to be a bricklayer in the UK get trained the same way, over the same format. But when you get out, people develop their own style, their own way, and sometimes it's a better way than how they were taught. And sometimes they'll be really successful at it. But, you're naturally going to find your own way of doing things. Yeah, you just can't trade that at the moment. It's all over the place. We missed a few here. Yeah. Saw a good preacher. Preachers blew up their account. Train live. I saw good preachers blew up their accounts when they trade live. I saw good preachers. Preachers. Is that right, Ryan? Have I read that right? I saw good preachers. Look there, okay. You're about teachers. I think you mean teachers, don't you? Preachers. Yeah. Preachers. Teachers. I think it means teachers, yeah. Well, funny enough, a trader buddy of mine I was talking to a couple of days ago was looking at going with the Gorilla guy. So he paid the $99, and the Gorilla guy messaged him back saying, I've refunded you, I've stopped trading for a while, which is unusual. If you're a trader and you're a success of it and you make money, why would you stop? Unless you made a ton of money. But it's a bit unusual that he stopped. He seemed good at it. He seemed really good at it, but you just never quite know, do you? You don't know what people do behind closed doors. You might see him trade for an hour and a half a day, but you don't know what happens. And in all fairness, most of the times I've revenge traded, you guys have only seen me have one meltdown on the live stream in 10 months. Usually, if I've had a really bad day and I blow an account, it's always after I stream. And that's part of the reason why I streamed, because it stopped me doing stupid things. And the stupid things I did were after I streamed. So I try and have a policy now that when I finish streaming, I shut my computer straight down. Because it does keep you from making stupid mistakes, because you don't want to look like a complete prat. We got 67 people in currently. You got 67 people watching you, and you don't want to look like a complete prat. So, in my opinion, streaming's good for me, and obviously because I'm a talker and I like to talk and process, it works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. So yeah, still going. We had a leg down on 2 couple of attempts ago. You just can't do anything with this at the moment. Unfortunately enough. I have the personality for streaming. I find I annoy myself sometimes because I am quite a hyper person. And sometimes I can hear myself talking, and I get on my nerves sometimes. So I can... but what I hear and what I listen to back are quite two different things. I don't always sound that hyper sometimes, but I feel like I'm hyper when I'm talking. Which is why I've slowly moved away from Mac, I think, slightly, because some of his trades are very quick. And I do wonder whether I just jump a little bit of time before. I tend to need to have that little bit of time to think about it, decide to do something, and then double check it. I don't double check. And that's sometimes where I can do really well and build a nice account, and then I do something stupid and it messes with me head. I had those 4 accounts up to I had about $10,000 in that I built up these 4 PA accounts, and I was doing nice. I was being nice and careful, and I took 2 stupid trades for the life of me, I don't know why. I was down $700. It messed with me head. Because I'd given up work, I was relying on the money. And I ended up blowing them and felt physically sick. So I have decided to go back to work Friday, Saturdays and Sundays just to keep that income, because I can't build accounts. I've done them on, I've done them multiple times, and I have managed to withdraw $10,000 since January. I could have withdrawn a bit more as well, but I've been trying to let them build. But trouble is, when you're taking a wage from it, you really need your accounts to build up to a suitable cushion. I reckon 8,000 maybe. So you can take a wage and you still comfortably got enough in there. But if you let your account get to $2,600 and you're taking $2,000, you've got $500 left before you hit that, $2,100 drawdown, and you've got no room then. See. So I'm going back to work for a while and allow me to build some accounts. I agree with your personality. I do not know how you can put up with the people that yeah, for the most, to be honest with you, mate, for the most 98% of it's fine. It's very few people, but sometimes you can get some nasty ones. But a couple of people have told me when you get those nasty ones, it's usually people who are struggling themselves and are frustrated and want to sort of take it out. And I get it want to take it out on someone else. So I get it. But I just, now and again, they affect you, the comments. But I think overall, the bigger picture, I like getting to know other people. For you guys, I chat with on Facebook or Messenger or something, and I like it. I like the fact that I'm mixing with people who've got the same interests as me. But it's very few people, but it is usually people that are struggling themselves. There was a guy on here not long after I started, said you should stop streaming, you're no good as a trader, you're completely lucky, really nasty arse stuff. And then he said, I've been giving you advice and you're not taking any of it. And I said, well, you're a guy on the stream, I don't know whether you've been trading 2 months or 20 years. And he said, well, blah, 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 you need to take advice for someone who's earning 6 figures every month. Okay, so then I saw him on the black blacklist. What's the guy? Black Bay Trader. And he started going onto his stream. And he said his plan for the year was to make $200,000. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute. 1 minute you said you were making 6 figures a month. So how does that work? So I think it's usually people who are frustrated, angry, and a bit and I felt like that myself sometimes, but not to the extreme where I start slagging other people off. My policy is, I know how tough this is. So if I get someone saying to me they've blown an account, straight away I try and encourage them. Because you need encouragement in this business. Telling someone they're crap and they're useless, it doesn't do any favours. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help them. So I tend to, it's like I don't watch the Panda guy anymore. I don't quite understand his trading method. But when he first started streaming, he was making money. He was making green days, and then he really seemed to struggle. And he got some nasty comments one day. He lost about $2,500 and blew some accounts, and someone said, your trading's shit, it's useless and all. Nasty stuff. And then a while, maybe later that day, I saw he was taking a couple of weeks off. And when you're feeling low like that anyway, and people are writing nasty stuff, it's just, it's sort of exponential. So I sent him a message saying, you can trade. I have seen you've slipped into a few bad habits. Take a break off, come back stronger. Good luck to you and all this. But I don't. Sometimes when someone's low and you send them nasty messages, it does make you feel worse. I know from experience, but a lot of the times though, when I have a bad day, I do get some nice positive messages as well. So it swings and roundabouts, but I like getting to know people. And I like the fact that I am accountable. If I got people watching me, you don't want to look like an idiot, do you? So it works for me. It doesn't work. I mean, I've said to people like Daniel, you should start streaming. Daniel notoriously is good at it, makes a lot of money from Pats. I've said you should start streaming. He makes a ton of money, I believe. I'd pay, if he started streaming, I'd pay $100 a month to watch him, but it's not for everyone. And if you're making a ton of money, maybe it's not worth risking it changing something, like exposing yourself up to people, you know, if you're already making a ton of money. Okay, so let's look at this. We've had this channel down. We've had a break. No, we haven't had a break, have we? Whatever. We've a couple of attempts to go and push through the EMA, so maybe that's a great place to trade. I don't know, but same again, you're going into the lows, so there's no real room there. So it looks like it's a sort of a good setup, but trouble is, once it pushes through the mirror, if you come in there, you've not got enough room out for the lows, and you don't know whether it's going to do this. That's the trouble. When you've had so many, the trouble is, the more times it hits, sooner or later, if it's really struggling, it's just going to turn tail and go in the other direction. I know how low and crappy you can feel after losing a trade and blowing up an account. I know Apollo Chris. Absolutely. I mean, there was another guy, and I'm surprised, actually. He's in the forum. I forget his name, and I took a trade on it, and he put a message. He put, if you think that's a good trade, you need way more screen time. Well, yeah, I'm a trader that's been doing this for a little over 2 years. That's what I'm here, increasing my screen time. There's no need to state the obvious. But it's not many, to be fair. And I would say 99% of comments are good and positive. But, you know, you get some. There's always some people. You'll have personality clashes or whatever. There's always some people. But I always encourage people because, you know, when someone's at their lowest, and it can make you feel pretty low, this business, the lowest thing to do is just to give them an hard time, because it just doesn't help them. Doesn't help them. Doesn't do you, and doesn't help you. But, you know, not everybody thinks the same way we do. What is this market doing? So we've had this channel down. We've had a break out of it. We've made 2 attempts to go lower. Maybe if we push up strongly, that's a trade. I don't know. Or no, maybe I should really only be thinking about taking shorts at the moment. So we've had a break. Made 2 attempts to go high. Maybe that's not a bad trade. Just looking on the see if anybody's taken it. Trouble is, a lot of I know Benji trades on the NQ, and it's hard to know whether some trade on the NQ. Honestly, don't know what the difference is really. I know that I'm sure the ES tends to follow the NQ, doesn't it? But looking at a chart that someone's posted, this one, they're very similar. They are very similar actually. They've got a leg down, maybe a little bit of and another leg down, and a bit of sideways stuff. But we've had a break, and we have made a new low at the end of the day. So Q moves 10 times faster. Yeah, I'll agree with that, Artie. It's a bit scary, isn't it? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. In fact, I've moved more over to Penguin because you get a bit more time to think. So probably NQ isn't for me, actually. Just for real men, maybe. Up and down, yeah. I've played around with it on a sim just out of, you know, curiosity when I've been bored one night, and yeah, I'll agree with that. I do watch What's It in the evening sometimes, just because he's a nice guy, Nutty Bar trader. He's a nice fella actually, but he trades completely different from me. But I'll watch him now and again if I'm bored in the evening and have a chat. And yeah, it does. It really has big, quick moves. See, I'm just trying to look at this from a Penguin perspective. We got to push down. We had 1 attempt to go higher, 2 attempt to go higher. Failure. Is that something that he may take? It's hard to say. Trouble is, I'm pretty sure if he took that, he'd want to be out before these lows, wouldn't he? And I don't think there's a possibility there. Even if you take, I don't know, if you take it here or something, I don't think there's enough room to get out. Yeah, you're struggling there, see? So I don't think there's a Penguin trade there. In all fairness, until it breaks out the bottom, all it's doing is just ranging in maybe a 5 point. There's no room there, see? And I've heard Penguin say 5 points. He doesn't trade mats because there's just not enough points in there. He avoids the smaller points, really. So you rarely see him go for a trade less than 3 or 4 points. And there's just nothing there, really. Maybe if we had a push-up and another push-up here, then maybe. But it's just sideways. There's nothing there, really. Trying to see if there's a bigger picture anywhere. There isn't really. That you can't adjust that to fit in a channel. There's your channel. It looks like a 2-tier channel we've pushed up. We're working in this top tier and we've had a break. We have eventually had a new low. So is it going to continue down? Or what? Yeah, that was a bit of stupidity there. If I'm going to take something of Max, it's going to be a perfect second entry short, not that really in a range. I shouldn't have taken that one really. And leg down break, 2 attempts to go higher. That really wasn't a great trade because price is moving up, isn't it? So going short there is not the right time really. So they were a bit stupid, but okay, that's fair enough. Moving on. Waited for that one. Channel down break, new low, push up break, trying to go higher once, try to go twice, bounce off this top line, push strongly through the EMA. I don't think it's a terrible trade. I don't think it's a classic or an ideal or a perfect penguin trade. As somebody mentioned earlier, it's more of a bigger picture. That's a little bit short and yeah, it's usually a little bit more maybe this leg up, maybe down, a break, maybe 1 push up, 2 push ups, something a bit bigger. That's a bit short term really. And it worked probably because it's just in a downtrend anyway. So I saw that trade and think it's pretty good low risk. Yeah, mainly. See, I took it based on the penguin star, so I didn't just take that one. You probably took that one, didn't you? Or probably looked at that one. But what got me interested is after it reacted to there, the way that then pushed quickly down, came back, retested this line twice, and then continued down. So my stop was there, and after that bar, I dropped in a limit order, which picked me up at there. So it was 3 points. Excuse me. So from a penguin point of view, 3 points is a relatively small one, I think. Yeah. Is it second entry short? From here, I suppose. But I think the bit that got me more interested was the fact that it reacted to this line. And after that bar, we confirmed this, and we know we're in a downtrend anyway, but it confirmed it. And then as soon as that bar finished, woof, dropped down really quickly, full solid red bar, and then came back up, tested this line twice more, and then down we go. So what I'm trying to understand as well, second and short, I got you. What I'm trying to understand as well, because obviously Penguin, he does 2 types of trades, doesn't he? He'll do 1-to-1 and 1-to-2. So I'm just trying to find out in what areas. I'm just trying to watch some of his videos. I've been a bit busy the last couple of nights, but I'm just trying to find out in what areas does he go for your 1-to-2s, because obviously you're making double your profit then. So what I will say is if he's winning on an 80% basis, that 20% he loses can be covered by those 1-to-2 trades. So, you know, if he loses 2 trades in, I don't know, a couple of days, and he takes 2 trades with 1-to-2, you know, the extra he'll win on there will cover his losses if you think about it like that. See, it's after this, it did push down, but it's still coming back, isn't it? So Yeah, I'm just not sure what's going on here. This just might be a fail breakout. But if we are going to continue down and it's still quite bearish, usually when we have a break like this, we'll come back, retest, and then push down. But it seems to still be trying to push up. So I think he learns on failures more than points. I think he learns. Oh, leans. I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. Occasionally, see, over the last few months, I've been putting little marks where I believe he takes a trade, and I get it right sometimes, not all the time, but I did have leading up to here. I did four. I think the first I took one day, which worked. I took two the second day, which both worked, and he took those, and I took one yesterday that he didn't take but did work. Obviously those were a bit of a disaster, but there you go. That one, yeah, I think the trend helped me out there, but I do like the fact that we had that strong push down, which tells you something. We're clearly struggling there, and we're on that line as well, and with a strong push. When it came back a couple of more times, that's it then, isn't it? Then that's when it dropped then. So what is going on here? In fact, I'll just check the emails. It does oh yeah, he posts some of his charts. Let me have a look. Okay, so he took that. I took there. He took that one. Is that right? Yeah. Right, okay, so what he said, we got that leg down. So what he said there is we had that sort of push up, and then that push up there, and then that bar there. Where did he take that one? Yes, he took that one there. See, I keep hearing this thing inside my head saying it pushed strongly through the EMA, then he took it, but he took that one there. And I suppose if you think about it, it was a failure outside here. So, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's just trying to work out what goes on in his head when he takes a trade. So, yeah, he took that one. And he took that one for 1-to-1 and was out before the low. So, yeah, okay, so we had this leg down, we had a break, 2 pushes up, and obviously a push out of this range, came strongly back in, came back in fine, and he was out before the lows. Okay, so that one. So at the moment, the recent trade, where we are recently, he's around here at the moment. So he does post regular chart pictures regularly. So I like that. I wish he'd stream or live zoom. If you want to zoom out, looks like we had a break, 2 legs of correction with 2 legs in the middle. So it could be a reversal, right? Yeah, it's hard to know, isn't it? So, I mean, we've definitely broke here, haven't we, anyway? We've had 2 legs down, haven't we? 2 legs down to a new low. So, yeah, you're right, it could be. A lot of the times, if it continues down, a channel will open up, and in all fairness, it doesn't look like that's what I'm looking at. So I think you might be right. A reversal. I don't think there's any type of a bigger channel working there. It's a bit early though at the moment, so I think what we need to do is push above there, then maybe retest it, and then have some sort of a bigger channel. What I like to see, before I get in, I like to see something like that push up, and then something like this then, and then a push up, and then usually then we'll have a bigger channel going up, something like that then. And that's when I kind of like to get, but I prefer to do it above here, and then obviously I don't know how far it'll go up, whether it probably, there's a bit of a lot of sort of congestion around here, so I'd expect it to come up to here relatively smoothly, if that was the case. But that's the type of thing I'd be looking for. But until it gets above here really, and then has a couple of legs down, and then maybe a higher low, I'm not thinking about longs at the moment, because everything up until, well, right up until now, in all fairness, has been downwards. We're still making lower lows at the moment, so I wanted to push up above here really, because you just don't know at the moment, because it is so choppy. I thought after that push down, that was it, then we were going to come down, but no, they pushed back up, which tells me I think it's losing its downward momentum, but you just never know, do you? 1 minute I think I got this business sorted, and then sometimes then I feel like a pig on roller skates. It'd be great to see that setup, yeah, but it's the sort of setup I like to get in on, where we have a channel like that, and we have a break of it, couple of legs down, then a higher low, and then another, usually have another leg then, so then a leg and a leg, and you can expect to get up to here, and usually it works out in a bigger channel. But it's just this the sort of thing I see again and again and again. And that's why screen time's so valuable, because when you see these patterns happening and these things happening, you get more and more confident, and sooner or later you're just going to start jumping in with a trade. So I can imagine how Mac feels when he's trading. He really knows what's going on, and I think that's the most valuable thing about trading is just to take as many, just to sit as long as you can here. I've got to say, is it the Black Bay trading guy? He streams that. He's not been trading that long, I don't think. But what I do like about him is he trades for about 6 or 7 hours every day. And sometimes I've finished and I've had a shower, I might have gone to the gym, and I've had me dinner, and I look online and he's still trading. So I admire him for that. Anybody who puts 6-7 hours in a day. But it is screen time. The more you've got to see this stuff. You imagine looking at this, doing this day in, day out, year after year. You're going to get very good at reading it. You can't help but not. So we've pushed in after breaking the bottom. We've bounced a couple of times off this line. So I'd say, from what I see day by day, I think it's likely going to push up to these highs again. Whether it will continue up, I don't know. But I like to do this because I just like to predict what's going on based on what I'm seeing. And it just tells me that, you know, the more I see this pattern, and if it works every time, you just start to get more and more confident. But bearing in mind, we still are seeing well, right from here, that's lower than this, that's lower, that's lower, that's lower. So we're still at the moment coming down. Same again, this is lower, that's lower, that's lower. Although it's not really a channel, it's still slowly working down. But we have had this breakout, pushed in and bounced. So I'm going to get rid of that at the moment, but it's just what I'm thinking anyway, but it's just in the way a bit at the moment. But we have pushed in and bounced a couple of times right where I've got that. It's not random, that. It's bounced there for a reason. So I think it's likely we're going to push back up to these highs, possibly break out. I don't know. or it could trigger that bar there and then come back out and still continue down. That's why I wouldn't take something like that. Do you know, I'm just looking at this now. Someone's just posted a picture on the forum, on the Discord about they're looking at a trade on the NQ. We've had this break. We've made 1-2 attempts to go lower, pushed up through the EMA, bounced on here. See, just wondering whether there's a long trade there. Trouble is, I just can't bring myself to do that at the moment because we've had such a downward bias all day. At the moment, we're still making these lower lows. So if we're making lower than that, going long there is probably the best idea. But yeah, I just don't think it's right to go long at the moment until, you know, all this is properly played out, because we are still making lower highs and lower lows. So that trade there, pushed up, bounced twice there, triggered, stopped out. Market's got a way of picking up weak bars, weak trades. You're going to push that up, a little bit of a pullback, push higher. Weak trade, a little bit congested, but it has bounced twice after it's pushed in. What happens? Triggers your stop shout. It's a weak trade. See, I think that's what markets does. It just looks for these weak areas. Market's very efficient, really efficient. Yeah, I can't even see if there's a bigger channel going there. I don't think there is. You may argue that one. I don't. Yeah, at the moment, it's hard to say. 1 minute you could say, well, it sort of looks like it, but touch. But the bottom's coming further away, so I don't know. Pushed up. We've had a push in. We've had a break. One attempt to go higher, a second attempt to go higher, and then a push below them. I don't know, maybe an option, I don't know. But at the moment, you can't take anything there. Not only that, there might be a double trap there. That bar's triggered and stopped you out. You may take this trade, it may push up and stop you out. It's hard to say, but I think you're certainly safer going short than long, because obviously, every time we hit these areas, they're going lower, but there's no penguin trade there that I can see. Push up, possible second entry long. Trouble is, if you went long there, you'd be going long into a... you can't argue with the market. Market's telling us every time it hits, it's coming lower and lower. So would you want to go long there? Yeah, it's a setup. We've got a channel, a second entry long, but we're in a downtrend, so it'd be a counter trend trade, and it's just risky in my opinion. Might work, it might rock it up. But at the moment, we're going sideways with a downward bias, so if I was going to take a trade, it'd be short, but obviously in this lot, it's just not worth it. Because you may get a bar there, and it may trigger you, and then come rocketing down. What time is it? 3 hours. In fact, I'm going to knock up on the head there, I think. I've done over 3 hours now. So, 2 losses and a win, but there we go. You learn. I learned my lesson there. But I've got to say, I don't find it nowhere near as stressful as trading Pats, I don't think. But there you go. So that's it for today, folks. So I appreciate your comments. It's been nice having a chat with you. Nice getting a few new faces in here from the Penguins Discord as well. So I appreciate all your comments and all your feedback. And I'll be back here same time tomorrow. From Fridays now, I'll be working. So I'll be trading just Monday to Thursday, but apart from that, I'll be back here tomorrow for another day. But yeah, relatively nice downtrend, but just a little bit of naivety in my behalf there. That one, probably not an ideal patch trade, but just my point of view of where it's landed and the push down. Like I say, sometimes your own experience is going to tell you maybe it's not bad. Okay, so we bounced off this line, strongly pushed back. I don't think it's a trade. It's probably likely going to come down after that. The reaction to that line, a couple of times there, push down, 2 more touches. It's probably coming down. So maybe a little bit of experience in the overall chart that got me into that trade rather than Pat's. But it worked anyway. So there you go. So that's it for today. So I'll catch all you guys tomorrow. So have a great evening. Stay safe, and we will talk tomorrow. Bye for now.